The finish of Leg 8 in the 2017-18 Volvo Ocean Race came down to the wire. After 15 days and 5,600 miles of intense ocean racing from Itajaí, Brazil, the top three teams were battling for the lead as they approached the finish in Newport.
There'll be plenty of action on deck and probably not a lot of sleep as we push for the last 24 hours to get to Newport.
5 days earlier, Becking's Team Brunel fought hard to hold on to a slim lead over Charles Caudrelier and the Dongfeng Race Team. Since crossing the equator, the top three teams have turned the tide on plastic. Dongfeng Race Team and Team Brunel were separated by only 10 miles.
All boats are pushing really hard. Obviously, we want this win into Newport more than ever. Dongfeng won into Newport last time, and we haven't won a leg in this race so far. So it'll be a nice one to win.
Just under 400 miles to the finish, the Spanish powerhouse Mapfre slowly reeled in, turned the tide on plastic. It was a spirited comeback by Mapfre, who had to overcome mechanical and electrical trouble earlier in the leg. But now, a podium finish was a reality and essential for the team's position in the overall standings.
Got a bit of work to do, unfortunately, but we're going to keep going all the way to the end, and a couple of opportunities maybe tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to win this thing.
As the front runners approached Newport, Team Brunel and Dongfeng Race Team jostled for the lead. In the final night, Mapfre reduced a 7-mile deficit to now threaten the leaders. With almost zero visibility in the fog, little to no wind, and fighting against an outgoing tide, the three battled tack for tack into Newport. It wasn't until the final turning mark, just 100 meters from the finish, that Mapfre emerged from the fog ahead of Team Brunel, taking their third leg win of the race, just 61 seconds ahead of the Dutch team.
Well, of course, a tough leg for us in general, where we lost a lot at the beginning and we've been just trying to catch up the whole leg. This morning, in the fog, in the night, it's been tricky. And, I think we sailed very well. We passed one by one everyone. And in the very last gust, we had to split with Brunel because they were just ahead, defending very well the current side of the river. And we had a very good pressure on the left and catch them out. So we were so happy with the second anyway, and even more with the first.
Yeah, result is maybe not what we had hoped for, but second place, and especially if you get past in the last 0.3 of a mile before the finish, that's really sour. But sailing can be sometimes really cruel, and today we're on the receiving end. All in all, I think we can be satisfied. Of course, got it right now, feeling but that's how it goes.
Watching the leaders disappear from sight was Dongfeng Race Team, who only hours earlier had high hopes for their first leg victory of the race. It was a heartbreaking finish for Charles Caudrelier and his crew. Stuck in no wind, and watching the hometown heroes Vestas 11th Hour Racing sail past in the final moments to steal the final podium position for the leg. Dongfeng Race Team took fourth, and in doing so relinquished the overall race lead to Mapfre.
We know finishing here is always complicated, and no wind this time, but it's not about that. I think it was full of plastic bag in the water on weeds, and we probably catch the bad one at the bad moment. So big speed problem all the nights. Brunel coming back, and Mapfre coming back, and you don't find solution because you have no speed, and without speed it's an impossible game. And you don't know. There was one plastic bag at the wrong place. It was for us. It happens.
Locked into a similar tacking duel to the finish, Team AkzoNobel edged ahead of Turn the Tide on Plastic in the battle for 5th place, while Sun Hung Kai Scallywag took 7th in their return to the race after retiring from leg 7 following the loss of crew member John Fisher.
The result in the leg is obviously the worst result we've had, but it wasn't about the result in this leg. It was about recovering from what happened, losing fish, and getting back in the race when they told us we couldn't. Basically, they said we had to put the boat on a ship and send it to Cardiff. I've said before, we're not in 8 weeks' time, all these other teams dissolve and everyone goes their own way. We're a sailing team that continues on with our other projects, so it's a really good step forward for us to get out, try and help us get over what happened and move forward. So, I know the boss and I couldn't be more proud of the whole, shore crew, the whole sailing team as a whole, for what we've just achieved. To us, the result's really irrelevant. But we're all competitive people, and obviously we want to do a better job. We've now got 3 more legs.
With the Newport Race Village officially open, the party began at Fort Adams State Park in Rhode Island, the second consecutive time Newport has played host to the Volvo Ocean Race.
Newport is the sailing capital of America. It has a long and rich history. I think the whole town gets excited when Volvo comes to town. We really care about it. We take sailing seriously. And of course, it's an honor that Newport is the site of Volvo's only North American stopover. So we plan to show off all that we have and have a great time.
The teams now have nearly 2 weeks to recover and prepare ahead of Leg 9 to Cardiff. With double points on offer, it's a crucial next stage in the quest for the overall race win. But first, the Gurney's Resorts Import Race Newport takes place on May 19th. It's expected to draw thousands of spectators, with the boats racing directly in front of Fort Adams and starting at 1400 local time.